Hey everyone, and welcome to EFRL, the European Formula Racing League, for round 13 of 22 for the Hungarian Grand Prix. We're on with the session right now, getting started in qualifying 1 for the full qualifying session. Then we're going to get on to the race session in about 15 minutes time or so. So we're in Q1 right now, 15 and a half minutes already down on the clock left here. We got quite a few cars out on the track at the moment, some on the out laps. We got a few cars starting hot laps already, so we're gonna start to see some lap times coming here pretty shortly. Just get a few more stats up on screen in the meanwhile that we got the cars out on track and doing all of that. So we're gonna definitely start to see some lap times come in. I think we're just waiting on we're currently following on with Paulie here, so let's see who's going to be the first to set a lap time. Just got on for a second there, so I'm not sure who is going to be the first. Hey Martin, hey Gargamel, thanks for joining on the chat there. Good to see you guys in there as well. So let me just get that off screen there right now. Oh, and unfortunately that's a Mercedes Paulie out of qualifying 1 already. And he was on a hot lap and lost the car there. Into the barriers he goes. And that's going to be it for him. So he's going to have to just be starting somewhere down at the back of the grid, unfortunately. So let's have a look out front, see who else currently is running a lap to be finishing that off. We do have Escas there in sector 2, I think it is right now, in the McLaren. So he's running his current lap. Let's see where he's going to be going across the line. And I think a few more drivers as well to finish off their lap very soon. I'm just waiting on that right now. Oh, and Leon does finish a lap, goes 117.4. Luki goes 128.2. I don't think that 122.2 was a pretty good lap. He's going to have to try that one again. But Leon, yeah, so Leon there, 117.4. Fabian goes 115.5. Not too bad with that time as well. That's quite impressive actually for him there. So let's see where the rest of the drivers do go on the grid. Escas goes 116.1 so far. Just 10th slower than his teammates so far, so not too bad with the time. I know we got Groot and 2GG out on track as well. Let's see where they are. Oh, and 2GG has invalidated that current lap. We'll have to try it again. Groot still trying to finish off his lap as he gets around the final turn. Almost going a little bit too wide off that final curb there, and goes fastest in the session, a 115.2 so far here in qualifying 1. And I think that might actually hold up pretty well. Let's see how the rest of the grid is going to play on through that. We might just be able to see a 114 by the time we get on over to qualifying 3, I would assume here. Actually, we're actually seeing it already. Here we go, 114.5 from Prasasek. And that's quite an impressive time so far. I've done a few of these Hungarian Grand Prix over the course of the past week, and I gotta tell you, 114s are a very rare sight to see, and we're already seeing a 114.5 here in qualifying 1, so very impressive on that end actually, to be seeing that. We got Demon here in down 12 on the grid. Where is he on track? Currently in sector 2 going around, so let's see where he goes. Dan Clement as well on the hot lap at the moment. And where is, oh, Clement is coming around sector 1 on turn 1, heading into turn 2 there right now. So let's keep an eye on Demon here as he finishes off this current lap. Not a proper sector 2 unfortunately, but let's see how the rest of the lap goes, and if that is going to be able to probably get it into the maybe 114, 115 as well. Probably 115, let's see how this one is going to go here. Dan Clement is going to have to pull some performance out of that car because his teammate is now out of qualifying 1. So that's only going to be one Mercedes going through the entire qualifying session so far. That's a 119 there from Demon, not the best of lap. Kubaus goes 115.7 so far, so he's up into 4th on the grid with that. Where is Dan Clement on track? Let's have a look here right now. He's in sector 3 to finish off that sector. The only Mercedes left running in the session so far, so let's have a look, see how that's gonna go. If he gets around, maybe we'll be able to get a car all the way through the qualifying session, all the way to qualifying 3. It's gonna be quite interesting to see as well, as his teammate will have to start at the back of the grid. Clement goes across the line at 116.1, not overly a bad time. Let's hope that that's going to be enough to take him over to Q2, but he has enough time to get another lap in or another 2 laps in if needed. We're only 11 minutes left in the session, still enough time for everyone to work on through with that. And let's see how they all get on through. So let's go to someone else who's currently running here. We get Cam C1 here in the Alfa Romeo going around right now. Let's keep an eye and see how that is working out so far. So a few changes in our grid so far as I'm looking through that here right now as well. Switch on a bit. Oh, Cam is about to go across the line. I just want to see where he goes as he gets across the line. Still fastest is 1:14.5 different per sec. Cam goes third fastest now in the session, 1:15.4. It is a tenth faster than what Fabian did. So not too bad with that. Who else do we have currently running? Gark Millendong on back there the track. He's currently running a lap. I think he just got that started as well. And we're going to go on board just a bit with him here right now to see how that current lap is getting on through. And let's have a look at the grid lineup in just a bit here as well. So Mercedes, we do have Dan Clement and Paulie as usual here. Of course, Paulie already out of the qualifying session. Ferrari, we got Totici and Luki as usual. Red Bull, we got Devils there. Oh, where did I go? I lost that for a second, sorry about that. Yeah, we do have Devils and Cabaus driving today for Red Bull. Esques and Fabian from McLaren right now. Prasek, Ready Muse for Renault. We got Leon and Jerry for Racing. Williams Racing there. And Haas, we do have Cuban and Gargamel as usual. We have Groot and Cams for Alfa Romeo. And for Racing Point, we do have Entier and Jurek, Demon and Sagan for the AlphaTauri team today here as well. So I think it's going to be an interesting session. We're just going to see how qualifying one goes, and we'll kind of gauge it just from there to see how the rest of the session will progress on through. We do have a few stats with me as well. I'll go on through later on if we do end up having a safety car or a VSC in this race. And who am I kidding? It's the Hungarian, so definitely we might be seeing the safety car make an appearance here this evening with this one. So we're going to see how that's going to work. So that's Gargamel with a 1:15.2 I just noticed there as well. So not too bad of a time of him, with Groot holding on to third now with 1:15.226. Just about 700th of a second faster. And now we got Devils going into second on the grid with a 1:14.9. That's about 4/10 slower than Prasek. Not too bad. Alright, so let's go down to the bottom and have a look here what's going on. Where is Cuban on track right now? So currently in sector 1, still running around in the Haas, and let's see. So we got just over half of the grid right now with their lap times in here for qualifying 1. We're seeing a lot of 1:15s on the grid as it is there right now. Got two 1:14s so far, and a few times a little out of the 1:15s there as well. So we're going to see how well they hold up, but they might not hold up as well. Of course, their Paulie there is going to be out of qualifying 2 or qualifying 3 as well. So we got a full grid, 20 drivers as usual running in our race here today, but only 15 will be making it over to qualifying 2. But with Paulie out so early off in the session, I do fear that we might only have 14 drivers making it over to qualifying 2. That's going to be putting one driver or more at a disadvantage here right now. So we're going to see how that actually works out by the end of Q1, which is coming down for us in about 6.5 minutes, less than 6.5 minutes. So we're going to see how that works itself out by the time we get to the end of the session. Not really a bad time from Cuban there as well. A 1:14.6, that's quite impressive. Just a 10 down from Prasek, who's currently holding on to the fastest time there in the session. Of course, everyone running right now on the soft tires in this session as it is there. And we're going to see a mix of strategies going over to qualifying 2. So we're waiting for that session to come on up pretty shortly as well. So about 5.5 minutes now left in the qualifying 1 session before we do have to head on over for the next session there. So currently I do have Jerry and Ready Muse in the pits at the moment, so we're just waiting on them to get out on track and get their laps going. Probably had some bad luck trying that before, but didn't really notice if they did get out before. But let's have a look in the next 5 minutes or so if they do decide to get out on track and try to get a lap in or not. Alright guys, so I think Clement might be on another lap. And in the meanwhile, let's just have a look at the grid as it stands right now. Just going to about 4.5 minutes left. So Prasek currently fastest in this qualifying 1 session with a 1:14.5. Cuban goes second fastest so far at 1:14.6. Interior third fastest at 1:14.8. Devils, Michael there, he's fourth fastest at 1:14.9. Groot fifth fastest at 1:15.2. 26. Gargamel and 6th fastest 1:15.296. Cams there 7th fastest 1:15.455. Jarek 8th fastest 1:15.498. PBN 9th fastest 1:15.533, and Sagan there 10th fastest 1:15.6 so far. Clement currently holding it down in 11th on the grid at 1:15.7, and he's going across the line right now. Does not really improve on that position. Kubaus there currently 12th on the grid 1:15.7. Eskas 13th on the grid 1:16.1, and Leon Marzan there 14th on the grid 1:17.4, and I do fear that's where it might end up for those going over to qualifying 2. But now we currently have Pink Demon on a lap. We do have Jerry and Ready Muse out on out laps at the moment, so they definitely might be trying to improve their time. We're just gonna have to wait and see in the next few minutes what does happen here to end off this session. But so far it's looking quite competitive with most of our grid, I would say. So I'm gonna be a little bit worried about the race start as it's gonna be. We definitely do have a lot of clean race starts coming off of EFRL, even with some of the toughest track that we've gone through the season so far. But still, here at the Hungarian Ring, it's going to be a little bit different in terms of with a bit of the run that we have getting down into turn 1. It's going to be quite a dangerous one with cars getting all over the track as usual. I've seen on multiple leagues it's happened, and it gets very busy going through turn 1. Cars ending up off track, cars all on the inside having a lot of contact, and then we do end up having some sort of incidents through on that first opening lap that does end up causing either a full safety car or even a virtual safety car, depending on what's happened, because sometimes there's just a lot of debris left on track, and it just does result in that from time to time. So currently we got fastest sector 1 coming off of Demon here, looking pretty well on the lap. Let's see how he does finish that off. Okay, so 1:17.9 is currently what he holds on to there. That's Pinky Demon TV. Let's go on down to Ready Muse right now in the Renault. Purple sector 1 so far on this current lap. Sorry about the silence in just a bit. I was just having a look at the correct names for the drivers. I probably have to start learning that in just a bit if we're going to continue doing this. Just to make it a bit more professional as well with what we do with these guys in terms of the commentary for them. So let's see, purple sector 2. Nope, not a purple sector 2 for Ready Muse. So he's going to finish up the lap. Let's see where he goes. Probably will be somewhere in the midfield, but it's maybe somewhere around where Sagan and Fabian or maybe Dan Clement is by the time he finishes off this lap, depending. I'm just an average guess here on where he's going to go. And Jerry is back into the pit, so he definitely doesn't have time to do another lap here. And this is Ready Muse going across the line. Goes fifth fast, is actually much better than I expected at 1:15.092 off of Ready Muse. That puts him off the P5 on the grid so far. So 20 seconds left here in qualifying one. Let's see what's happening down in the bottom of the grid with our drivers in the drop zone there right now. We do have to GG getting across the line here just about right now. Now let's see where he goes. Goes up to 15th on the grid. That puts Leon down to 16th, Lukey 17, and Pinky Damon currently in 18th still. Paulie out of the session. Jerry, no official time for him. Looks like Paulie's going to start 19th. Jerry will have to probably start 20th since no time coming off of him. And Pinky Demon down in the pits. He's going to start there 18th as it seems, and then Lukey there 17 so far, invalidated at current lap, will not be able to finish and make a faster lap in. Leon Marsden there in 16th will be out of it as well, and I do fear that OGG might not be making the cut into qualifying 2 because of Paulie being out early off in the session. Might limit us down by one driver. I'm not sure how it usually works, but let's just wait and see on that. This is going to be a close call between well, just at least for Tojiji here, just to see if he's going to be able to make it over into qualifying 2 at this point or not, because we're officially over with this current session here. I don't know if anyone else is still running. Looks like we might have Sagan still running on track. Let's try to have a look at that right now. And nope, an invalidated lap, so not going to be able to actually make a faster lap here. And I think that should be it. Yep, that is going to be it there. It's going back down to 2G here. And he's getting into the pits, so let's just wait for official results for the qualifying 1 session to have a look at our grid, who's going to be making it over to qualifying 2 and who's not, and what's going to happen in that session there. Okay, so here we go. Qualifying 1 results for the Hungarian Grand Prix for EFRL. So far as it stands, we got Prasicek with the fastest lap in this session at 1:14.5. Not too bad. Cuban there, second fastest, 1:14.6. And tier third fastest, 1:14.8, as we have it quite competitive up front and with the midfield of the grid as well. We got Michael here 4th on the grid. We got Ready Muse 5th, Groot 6th, Gargamel in 7th, Cam's there 8th. We got Jurek in 9th, Fabian 10th. We got Sagan in 11th, Dan Clement in 12th, Kubaus in 13th, Eskis 14th, to Gigi there in 15th. And he does make the cut to get over into qualifying 2. Good to see that happening. We got Leon Marsden there in 16th. That's where he's going to be starting on the grid. We got Lukey will start in 17th. Demon will have to start 18th. Paul is going to start in 19th. And Jerry will have to start 28th on the grid as it is there right there, guys. So let's head on straight on over now to qualifying 2. And let's see how that session is going to get on through. Going to be a mix of strategies going on to that one there, because drivers will have to be a bit worried about their race strategy and race setup as well. I think it's going to be drive-through on the entire session from what I've heard from Daniel Clement. So let's see how that's going to work out for these guys, but should be quite an interesting race when we do get onto it. I'm very interested to see how that opening lap is going to go. Got about 15 seconds to get off this screen, and then we're straight on over to qualifying 2. Alright guys, welcome on here again. We have a qualifying 2 right now. We're going to get started with 15 minutes on the clock. About any second right now that should be getting started there. As let's just get lap data back on once again. And we're going to put tires on to best so we can see what tires these guys are running on. And there we go. The clock has officially started down for qualifying 2, 15 minutes in the session. Let's see what sort of strategies these guys might be planning to run in the race session itself. And we're just waiting for a few cars to start getting out on track right now. And welcome to everyone currently joining on there on the live chat here on the EFRL YouTube channel. Thank you guys for joining on. Please make sure you guys do leave a like on this video as well to help the league grow the channel as much as they can. Remember to subscribe onto the channel as well if you're new on here as well. So let's keep that going. And let's have a look at here. Some engines already getting started there. I think a Ferrari is about to get out here as well. So let's keep an eye and see how the grid is going to perform in this session. Remember, some of these guys will be running on medium. Some of them will be running on the softs. So far, it looks like everyone has soft tires on, depending on if they have selected that already or not. Let's have a look, see who's getting out early up there. And that's the Ferrari of Togigi. They're getting out pretty early on in the session. So we're going to see how well he's going to progress on through that. Okay, so with lap times as it is currently here, we're just gonna wait just a little bit because it's not gonna take too much time for these guys to get around the track, even on the out lap, just over a minute or so. And then we're gonna start to see some hot laps start getting on their way here right now. So we're gonna follow Togigi probably a bit on board his car to see how his hot lap is gonna go, and hopefully goes pretty well for him. Fastest was about a 1:14.5 that you had there in qualifying 1. We're going to see what the fastest lap is going to be here in qualifying 2. I think that was Prasicek with the fastest lap there in Q1 as well. So let's see if he can do a repeat of that here for Q2 and probably transition it over as well to qualifying 3 to start on pole for the Hungarian Grand Prix here for EFRL. He might just be able to do it, I'm not sure, but let's see, because everyone is going to be running on the soft tires over in qualifying 3, but he still does have to make it through the session and make it on over into Q3. Of course, things don't always work out the way drivers plan them, so we're gonna see how that's gonna go for everyone here right now. Togigi trying to get on a really good hot lap and trying to get a fast time in. Let's see how his lap is gonna go. Currently in sector 1 on the track as he gets around about turn 2 or 3 there, going now in turn 3 and getting this bit of straight. That was a bit difficult off the this turn coming up right now, just to avoid an invalidated laps. Cars do take it a bit too much on the inside sometimes, and that white car on the right side is quite a dangerous one. Actually, just well, from personal experience, I would say it is. It was more a bit dangerous on the F1 2019 game compared to this one, I'll be honest with you. A slight tap on it can result in the entire car just spinning around on you. Quite similar to one of the curves down there in turn, I think it's not turn 11, I think it's turn 12 at Bahrain. Quite a dangerous one as well. If a car does, if one of the wheels does get on that curve, it does kind of spin the car around quite easily if you're not careful in terms of how much you're applying, how much force you're applying on the power of the car at the same time. So drivers have to tend to be a bit careful with some of these curves on tracks. They are actually a bit dangerous to just be with sometimes, and that is not an actual lap, I'll say, for Togigi here. Oh, we got Fabian goes 1:16.4. He just finished that lap, so not too bad on him. Where is Sagan on track right now? We haven't followed him, and there he goes, fastest in the session so far, 1:16.4. 1/6/300 of a second faster than Fabian so far, and both on the medium, so quite impressive with that. That's gone down to Groot here. Where is he on track? Just getting started with the lap there right now. I think Daniel Clement might be a bit further on in the track. Yep, he is. He's about in sector 3 getting around right now in the Mercedes. His teammate unfortunately out already in Q1, so let's see where Clement is gonna go. He gets around the final turn here right now. Dan Clement goes across the line. Let's see how fast he goes. Maybe a 1:16, and does a 1:16.9. Not too bad of time on the mediums that is. So let's see, where is our good friend Prasicek here at the moment. That was the fastest guy down there in Q1. Let's see where he goes with the Renault, and he's doing this on the medium tires here, so I would not be surprised to see him get the fastest time here in qualifying 2 as well, even on this current lap that he's going on with. So let's see how he does finish a lap. So far, he does go 1:15.7, not too bad of a time. Cam's goes 1:15.9. As the time just came in for some reason. I don't know, that was a bit of delay on that from our end for some reason. So our worst time possible right now we got is a 1:28 there from Escas. He's going to try and improve that lap as much as he can. Tochichi with a 1:17.1. Why some of these lap times were delayed coming in, I'm not sure. But as it is right now, 1:15.7 there from Prasek. Cam's second fastest in the session at 1:15.9. Sagan down to third fastest at 1:16.416. Fabian fourth fastest at 1:16.446. And Groot currently 6th on the grid at 1:16.5. Daniel Clement currently 7th on the grid at 1:16.9. Tojichi there currently 8th on the grid at 1:17.1. Esca's 1:28 as it is there right now. Let's go on down to a few of the drivers currently on their outlaps. And that is going to be N-Tier, Cuban, and Jirek here right now. Oh guys, my apologies about that. Let's have a look what's happening on track here right now. So Direct, Cuban, and Tier on their hot laps, getting on through. Let's follow on. Oh, I think that's an invalidated lap there, probably from Direct as he's getting around. This does seem like that's the case. Cuban slowing down on track, and Tier still running here in sector 2, I think it is right now. I don't know if there was such a bit of a delay with some of these times. Let's see what's happening. So just under 7.5 minutes left here in qualifying 2, as we have a still Prasek fastest in the session, and we got Michael now currently second fastest, 1:15.8, and then Cam third fastest at 1:15.9. So in the top 3 that we have, all are done on the medium so far. It's quite competitive in terms of just a 10th off from each other. Going to be very interesting with the results, I got to say. By the time we get over to qualifying 3, Groot 4th on the grid. Sagan 5th right now, Fabian 6th, Dan Clement 7th. Oh, and we got N-Tier going up to 3rd fastest on the session now, 1:15.964. That's about 500 of a second, sorry, 300 of a second faster than what Cam's did. So very impressive so far. And as we can see, Tojichi is the only guy who's done this on the soft tires so far. Everyone else is currently running on the medium. From what I know about this track, I think every driver and most of the drivers are going to be aiming for a one-stop strategy here for the Hungarian Grand Prix, and I think they're going to be doing a medium to hard strategy because it's about 30-something laps for the 50% race that's going to be coming up after the qualifying sessions are over. And I think definitely they're not planning to do a two-stop. They're going to be trying to do a one-stop strategy to see what's going to happen here. So let's keep an eye on that and see how that's going to work out for them. Cuban's still on track here, trying to get a lap in right now. Did a 1:29.3, and I don't think that's his best performing lap. Hey Peter, thanks for joining the chat. To everyone joining on, watching this stream live right now, welcome to all of you guys from wherever around the world you're watching from here right now. Just welcome onto the stream. Thank you for joining us on. And that is Cuban now fastest in the session, 1:14.9. Goes about 2 2/10 faster. Sorry, not even 2/10, just way much faster than that. That's about 7, 8, 9, just over a second faster. And Ready Muse now goes second. This is change up very quickly coming down to the end of the qualifying session. So 1:15.1 now from Ready Muse goes into second. Daniel Clement goes third at 1:15.5. I think we're having a bit of a delay in terms of the lap times coming off of race control onto our screen for some reason. I'm not sure. It comes off just a bit after the cars get across the line for some reason. So I'm just calling it as I see it here right now. So Kieran for currently fastest in the session at 1:14.9. Ready Muse second fastest at 1:15.1. Daniel Clement third fastest right now, 1:15.5. Prasek down to fourth fastest on the grid at 1:15.7. We got Devils Michael here. He is at 1:15.8 in fifth fastest on the grid. Gargamel goes down to sixth on the grid, 1:15.939. And now we have Eskas going seventh fastest at 1:15.943, 100th of a second slower. Entier another 200th of a second slower there in eighth, 1:15.964. Then we got Cams here currently ninth fastest on the grid at 1:15.999, 300th of a second slower than Entier. Groot now in 10th, 1:16.234. And the first of that we do have there. Why is this thing switching around so much on me? I was just somewhere else. Unless I'm dreaming here at the moment. So yeah, that's our top 10 so far, going down to Groot, Sagan, Fabian, to Gigi, Jurek, and Kubas there. Currently in the drop zone of getting knocked off of qualifying 3, which is coming up. So they need to improve their lap time at some point here right now. So Sagan at 1:16.4 needs to improve that a little bit. Fabian at 1:16.4 as well does need to get a little bit higher, probably get into the 1:15s just to be on the safe side at this point here right now. To Gigi, same goes for him. Currently in getting back into the pits. So we got just about 3.5 minutes, just under 3.5 minutes left in the session. We got Jurek currently on an outlap on track. Let's see if he's going to do anything to be able to get himself over into the next session. Alright, so Jurek on his hot lap here right now, getting through first sector of the track. Let's see where the lap is currently going. Kubo still in the pits. It doesn't look like he's going to try and get back out to possibly get a time in to finish off the session and hopefully get himself over into qualifying 3. So far as we have it, Daniel Clement has done his fastest lap on the soft tires. So has Eskas and to Gigi here. So if Eskas and Daniel Clement do make it over into qualifying 3, which it looks like they might, they will be starting on the soft tires, which means they're going to be pulling off a two-stop strategy in the race itself. And looks like Fabian now goes second fastest in the session. Quite impressive. A 1:15.060, and did that on the soft tires as well. So if he does get over, which he looks like he definitely will with that sort of time, he will have to start on the soft tires, doing a two-stop strategy in the race as well. And I think he had to just pull it off on the soft tires. It was not working too well on the mediums for him. And that is direct now with the fourth on the grid at 1:15.405 on the soft tires as well. And had to just do it on that. It was possibly the only way to get it up there in the fourth on the grid. Down in the drop zone right now, we got Kamzer 11, Groot in 12, Sagan 13, to Gigi there 14, and Kubaus in 15, still in the pits. So it doesn't look like he's going to be getting out on track back anytime soon. Currently Sagan out on track, trying to get an outlap going here, and has about a minute to get around and possibly make it across to get next hot lap started, and let's see if that's gonna work out at any point here for him. But yep, we do have a few drivers, 5 drivers right now, looking at getting themselves knocked off of qualifying 3 as it is there, coming up very shortly in about 45 seconds if they're not able to get a faster time in. And Kubaus definitely will not be able to GG there in the pits will not be able to, Groot in the pits as well will not be able to. Camps and Sagan, only 2 out of that 5 are currently out on track trying to get a better time in. So we're going to keep an eye and see how that's coming along for them here right now, because only those 2 more to finish. Now from down at the bottom of the grid, down on top, I think we have Daniel Clement Jurek still out on track. And let's see how that's going to work for those 2 as well, if they're trying to improve their time. And we got Sagan about to go across the line here to get started on his hot lap. Let's have a look on how that lap is going to currently go for him. Okay, so still following on Sagan here right now. Let's have a look if he's able to finish off this lap and possibly get a faster time in than a 1:16.4. Looks like he just might be heading to that, as he's about to get across the line right now. Does a 1:15.5, puts himself up in the P6. That puts NT down into the drop zone right now, and he's already out of the session. And qualifying 2 officially being over right now. I don't think anyone else is currently running. Cam's getting back into the pits right now, and that's going to be it there for the session. So it looks like it's going to be NT starting 11, Cams will have to start 12, Groot will start 13th, Tujiji will start 14th, and Kubaus will have to start 15th on the grid as it is there right now. So qualifying 2 officially over. We're going to have a look at our top 10 heading over into qualifying 3. Cuban with the fastest lap in this session, and doing that on the mediums as well, a 1:14.9, a 10th faster than what Fabian did in his 1:15.060. Very impressive with the lap time so far as well. So we're going to see how qualifying 3 is going to be going here. Okay, so there we have it. Cuban fastest lap there in qualifying 2. Did that on the mediums, which he's going to be starting the race on. We got Fabian second fastest in the McLaren on the soft tires. Daniel Clement on the softs as well. Third fastest in the session here. Brady Muse 4th on the grid. Jurek 5th. Sagan 6th. Brazasek there 7th. We got Michael here 8th. Gargamel in 9th. We got Escas in 10th in the McLaren so far. That's our top 10 as it stands. And those are 5 drivers on the mediums, 5 drivers on those softs for top 10. Out of that, we had Entier starting 11th on the grid. Cams will start 12th. Groot will have to start 13th. 14th is going to be 2GG, and Kubas will have to start 15th there. So we're going to head on over into qualifying 3 right now and have a look at our top 10 and see what our starting grid for that is going to look like. Okay, guys, on in qualifying 3 here right now. 12 minutes already started on the clock, and we're on with the session. We know everyone's going to be running on the soft tires, so let's keep an eye and see how this session is about to go. We got cars will start to get out on track here pretty soon as well, and with very limited time on the session's clock, so drivers will have to get a move on and probably try to get our lap times in as quickly as possible, just to avoid the error of an invalidated lap, which might happen depending on how hard they are going to be pushing on through the session. We got Prazasek heading on out on track. First driver out on the track very early off, out in the Renault, and no one else currently heading out of the pit lane as C. So let's see, is Prazasek having the track all to itself so far? We got the Mercedes of Daniel Clement getting out there right now as well, and let's see who's going to be getting out behind of him. So it looks like they might be spacing this off just a bit as they do start to get out. We got McLaren and a Red Bull getting out there as well. I think that's Michael and probably someone else getting out. Yep, it is Michael getting out with probably Escas in front of him, or Fabian, I'm not sure. I think that's Escas there. So we'll just keep an eye on Prasek so far. Let's see how this is going to go, because with everyone running on the soft tire, it's going to be quite interesting and maybe a bit similar off to what happened down in qualifying 1. We'll see how well that's going to work off here in this session. Okay, so first, Prasek is going to get started in the lap there. Let's have a look on how this is going to work out for him. Got a few more drivers on hot laps just behind this as well. Where is Daniel Clement on track right now? He's coming around as well. I think we're still having a bit of a delay on in terms of our lap times coming on screen. So let's have a look what's happening here right now. Alright, so Clement goes across the line, a 1:15.3 for him, and now Prasek's time is coming in for some reason. Why that's happening, I'm not even sure. There's some sort of glitch happening or delay happening on lap times getting on the leaderboard there. So Prasek's time is now in a 1:14.5 for him, Daniel Clement at 1:15.3, Escas at 1:15.7, I'll have to call it as it does come in. Michael goes 1:14.7, second fastest in the session so far. Where is Cuban on track doing purple sector 1, as I think we can see there. I think Gargamel is in sector 3, about to get around the final turn there at the moment. I think there's a Renault behind of him. Let's see what's happening with that. Probably Ready Muse on his outlap. And that's a purple sector 2 so far from Cuban, so looking pretty good on the lap. And there is a bit of delay in terms of this leaderboard here at the moment, so we're going to have to deal with that through the session, I assume. This is currently Cuban getting across the line. Let's see if the lap time comes in same time. No, it does not come in at the same time. He's still getting, now we do have it a 1:13.9 from Cuban so far, fastest time in the session. And quite an impressive time there as well. So 1:13.9, fastest time so far in qualifying 3, comes off of Cuban. Prasek now second fastest with his 1:14.5 as it is. Michael now down to third, Fabian down to fourth with his 1:15.1, Daniel Clement down to fifth with his 1:15.3, Escas down to sixth, 1:15.7. Let's go on down to the rest of the grid where they are at here right now. We got Gargamel about to get across the line pretty soon, and quite interested to see where he's going to be going on that grid there. Because I think we're going to be only looking between 1:13s, 1:14s, and maybe some 1:15s as he barely gets into the pit lane there. And who else is currently to finish off a lap? Looks like it might be Ready Muse getting his lap time in here right about now. Let's have a look on how that's going for him. getting around the final turn, and he's onto the pit straight and he's going to go across the line. Let's see how fast he does go. Second fastest on the grid so far, a 1:14.1. Not too bad of a lap time. Sagan and Jurek still to get around the track here, and I think Jurek might be in front. That's a purple sector 2 there in the racing point, Jurek, and looking pretty good on the lap. Let's see how he does finish the current lap though. And he goes across the line with a 1:15.3, puts him in 7th so far. We got Sagan about to get across the line here, and let's see where he goes on the grid. And apparently that's going to be a delayed time there as well. We'll have to wait and see what sort of lap time is going to come in for that one. And there we go, it's finally in a 1:15.191, 600 per second slower than Fabian so far. We got Gargamel still in the pits here at the moment, so we're gonna wait for see if he's gonna get up. We got just about 5 minutes left here in qualifying 3 to close off that session, and then we're gonna head straight over to the 50% race session to get the Hungarian Grand Prix underway. And we're gonna have a look at the entire grid on that point there as well. And there we have it. Gargamel is currently on an outlap getting around the track here right now. So we can probably have an onboard look with him when he does get ready to get around on his outlap. Oh, sorry, on his hot lap. Alright, so we're going to stay on board with Gargamel right now as he gets started on the hot lap and gets around. Just under 4 minutes actually left here in qualifying 3, so really not a lot of time to work with. We will have a few more cars start to get her back on track for another go at this, trying to improve their time if they can. Currently still keeping fastest in this session, holding on to provisional pole for the race start with a 1:13.9, and no one else currently able to get into the 1:13, so quite impressive of a time from him. Let's see if that's going to hold on true for the rest of qualifying 3. As we have it here right now, that's a purple sector 1 for Gargamel so far. And unfortunately, that's an invalidated lap there for Gargamel. And let's see if he's going to be able to get another lap started or if he's going to go back into the pits. I'm not sure what he's going to do on this occasion here. Unfortunate, because it did seem like he was going to be on a pretty good lap getting around. And it looks like he is going to go into the pits. Let's have a look, see who else is still currently running. We got just about a minute and a half, just under a minute and a half left here in qualifying 3 actually. Gargamel on another outlap, trying to get another lap started here. Has just about, yeah, I think he has enough time to get around the track. and possibly get this lap started to get one final go at this and hopefully gets a good lap in. He's cutting it quite close down to the end of the session though, so gonna be a close call for him to get a lap, and he's not gonna want to mess this one up because this is gonna be his very final chance to get any sort of qualifying time in and try to get somewhere maybe in the midfield of the grid if possible, or the midfield of top 10 actually, just try and get started on the race, because the worst possible start he's going to get here is P10 on the grid. I don't think he made it all the way to Q3 just to be starting on 10th on the grid. He definitely will want to try to get a faster time in, so let's see what that's going to go for him. I think we do have Daniel Clement trying to get a faster laps, as well as Prasicek and maybe Cuban trying for another lap there as well. I want 13.927 so far as it is for him. Sagan as well on another out lap. So quite a few cars are going to be trying to get a faster time in just behind Gargamel in here. As you can see them start to get across the line and get their hot lap started. So going to be a bit interesting with the grid maybe changing up just a little bit at the end of qualifying 3 here. Let's have a look. We got about 2 seconds left to end off on the clock, and that's it. Qualifying 3, the timer is officially up, and it's only for whoever is running a correct lap will be able to finish, which is most of the grid, I would say. Just about 3 drivers already finished with that. Daniel coming back into the pit, so he's out as well there. That's 4 of them done with the session. Cuban faster lap than he did before. He's now with a 1:13.799, improved by about a few tenths, at least 2 tenths on improvement, so that's quite impressive on his end. I gotta say, still the only guy there in the 1:13s on the track so far here in qualifying 3. They're still following on with Gargamel to see if he's going to get an improved time. Radium is currently second, Prasek third, Devils, Michael there in fourth as it stands so far. Sagan down in sixth, and they're all still running on track. Not sure if all of their laps are going well or not, because I really want to just have a look to see where Gargamel is going to go on the grid as he gets around the final turn here right now. Doesn't even go wide, so gets a lap in and goes third fastest on the grid. 1:14.3 so far. Where is Rating Muse on track right now? He's about to go across the line. Does he improve from 1:14.1 and does go fastest in the session of takes away provisional pole away from Cuban on the very final lap by a tenth. 1:13.6 for him. Cuban now down in second with his 1:13.7. Gargamel now third with his 1:14.3. 02 Devils Michael there in fourth fastest on the session now at that time. So quite an interesting finish off there for qualifying 3. Let's have a look at the final results for that, and then we're going to head on over to the race session itself, where we definitely will have quite an interesting start. Let's see how clean that's going to go. So Rady Muse will be starting on pole here for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Cuban will be starting second there in the Haas. Gargamel will be starting third in the Haas as well. So Haas starting second and third on the grid, not too bad with that. Michael there starting fourth. We got Prasicek will start fifth there. His team is starting in P1, not too bad. Sagan starting sixth. Then we got Fabian in 7th. His teammate is a bit further down. The Mercedes of Daniel Clement starting 8th. His teammate starting down at the bottom of the grid. Racing Point for Jurek starting in 9th. And Eskers in the next McLaren will start 10th on the grid there. And quite impressive with the lap time. The slowest time being a 1:15.7 here in qualifying 3. Really not too bad with the time. So we're going to head on over right now to the race session itself. And let's see how that race start on opening lap is going to go on, if we're going to be having safety cars or VSCs in this race or not. Going to be quite an interesting race, so let's get on over to that session race right about now. Alright guys, getting started on the formation lap here right now. Let's make sure all our stats is up on screen that we're going to be needing in the race itself. Let's put this on tires for now. Let's have a look at the starting grid as it is. Everything looks a bit cloudy on track. Hope for the driver 6 it's not going to be raining later on in the session. That's going to be a bit interesting for us to watch as well. But we'll see how that goes. Anyway, let's have a look at the starting grid as it is. It's going to be a 35 lap race here around the Hungarian ring for the Hungarian Grand Prix. And so far, we do have Radimuse starting in P1. Cuban is going to start second. We got his teammate Gargamon starting third. Michael will start fourth. Then we do have Prix starting 5th, all the top 5 on the medium tires. Then we have Sagan starting 6th on the softs, as well as Fabian there in 7th. Daniel Clement starting 8th, Jarek will start 9th, and Escas will start 10th. So out of the top 10 that we do have starting there, our first 5 are starting on the mediums. The second half of that top 10 will start on the softs. Then we have N-Tier starting 11th on the mediums. Cam will start 12th on the mediums. Groot starting 13th on the grid on the hards. A bit of a different strategy here right now. And we have seen that strategy worked out pretty well in previous races before. And then Tujiji there starting 14th on the grid on the mediums, as well as Kubaus on the mediums starting 15th. Leon Marson starting 16th on the hards. Luki starting 17th on the mediums. Demon starts 18th on the mediums. Paulie will start 19th on the hards. And Jerry there will start on the mediums down there in 20th on the grid. And that's how they line up so far. We're getting through sector 3 on the track here right now. Still looking very much cloudy on track. Both horses are going to be running 2nd and 3rd on the grid for the race start here. Going to be very interesting to see how that works out, with a Red Bull behind of them and a Renault leading the start of the race. So let's see if Cuban is going to get a pretty good run on Radimuse on the opening run down into turn 1 there for lap 1. And we're going to try and keep an eye and see how the rest of the grid gets on through, if everyone's going to go all over the track, and possibly maybe we're going to have a safety car or not. I'm not 100% sure what that's going to be like here as yet, but we're getting very, very close to that race start here right now, as the final car of Jerry is getting into its race grid there, position to just get started with the race at the moment. So let's have a look on what's going to happen on this official race start here for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Round 13 as it is, and that leaderboard might get a bit mixed up. We're going to have to keep an eye on that, see how it's going to go. We're going to put this on position changes so you guys can have a look at that as it gets along. And they're off here right now. First lap for the race, and looks like Cuban gets a pretty good run as he gets on through everyone all over the track here at the moment. We have some cars pushing it on the inside, and some are, oh, we got cars going off track on wide already. A bit of contact as we get on through turn 1. Some cars being pushed just a little bit wide, and everyone seems to be getting through. So far so good. We do have minor contacts between cars. I'm not sure if we have any major contact down in the back as yet, as we're trying to get on through the entire field. Oh, and we do have someone front wing, I think, flying around the track. That's some trouble for one of the McLarens there. I think that's Fabian there, all the way down to 16, lost 9 positions probably. I'm not sure. The leaderboard is just mixed up, so we're not going to be able to tell based on that. Jarek having a 5-second penalty for severe collision with 2 GGs so far. We have a virtual safety car happening on the opening lap of this race here right now. Let's get on back out in front and see what's happening here. So Cuban has gotten the lead away apparently from Radimuse here, who's now into 2nd position on the grid, and he's going to have to hold that way because of the virtual safety car. That's going to be absolutely no overtaking. We might see some pit stops happen here. A few penalties already on the grid, and as you can see, predicted race stop strategy there. It's either going to be a 1-stop or a 2-stop strategy for the race. We will never really work with that strategy anyway, so let's not even worry about that. Anyway, let's get position changes off and put this on the tires right now and have a look on how this is going. That VSC is actually over here right now. We're back racing again. Let's have a look at Radimuse getting a bit of a run down into turn 1 on the 2nd lap of the race, and not able to get close enough. Cuban getting the fastest lap in the session so far. Let's go down to Daniel Clement chasing after Sagan here in the AlphaTauri there for 5th place on the grid, and let's have a look how close he's getting. Prozisek just in front of that, so he's trying to keep ahead as much as he can there right now. Down behind Daniel Clement, we do have N-Tier and Cam and Eskers coming as well. A pretty close gap between most of them, as we can see there. So let's keep on the overhead camera. Have a look at Daniel here chasing after Sagan, really trying to get that position away from him, and his teammate is down there in 19th, so he does need to score some points here for the team. And into the pits goes Paulie, and a few cars down in the back of the grid there as well. Gap is still being maintained at least about 10th and 2/10ths behind Sagan right now. Getting very cloudy on track. Really and truly does seem like it might actually have a bit of drizzle at some point in the session. I'm not sure what the race conditions are going to be like, but we're going to keep on with the race and see how that's going, because if there was going to be some rain here in the session, then drivers would have had to adapt directly to that in terms of getting their race strategy up in qualifying 2 for those trying to make it into the top 10 and who did make it on over. So that is, I think, is it DRS online already? I'm not even sure. It did seem like DRS is already online. So let's just keep an eye and see how the rest of the grid gets on through that. So 7/10 so far between McCubbin and Ready Muse out front for the lead of the race, and that's taking away constant. I think that's a bit incorrect. We're just going to keep on so far with this as we have it here right now in the midfield of the grid. And we got a McLaren off track. That might be Fabian there, I'm not sure. And does look like it was. He's gotten back going again, so seems to be fine so far. Out in front of NT here, we're watching Prasek, Sagan, and Daniel Clement fighting it out for position at the moment. I'm going to try and keep an eye on the overhead cam, see what's happening in the midfield here right now. There's quite a close gap between a few cars as they have a bit of a train going on right now, especially between, I think, between Sagan and Prasek out front. Might be a closer gap. Let's have a look here right now. Actually, Clement is just behind that. So let's bring it up to that. And we do have NT catching up to him very, very quickly. Prasek now with a 3-second penalty as it is there. And we do have NT trying to push it on the inside of Daniel Clement down into turn 1. They're about to go here right now. Let's see if he gets a good run on that or not. And we do have DRS advantage, and he's going to push it on the inside of the Mercedes. Let's see if he gets it on through. Still going a bit side by side, and looks like NT has gotten up a position. Daniel Clement might be finding it back. He's trying to push it back on the inside and has to take the racing line. I just hold it off there for now. Do have a yellow flag there as well. So gap staying a bit steady. I think it's a bit frozen either way. So Ready Muse has taken back the lead out front. I think the gaps are a bit further up than we do expect. So Ready Muse has taken back the lead out front. He's ahead by 2.4 seconds for some reason now. And that is Cuban down to second on the grid. Devils, Michael here, chasing after him for second place right now. A 5/10 gap between the two of them. And that's pretty close off. I'm not sure if the leaderboard times are even correct at this point here right now, because it's not even changing. And Cuban is definitely trying to keep Michael out of that slipstream. I don't know how well that worked for him or not, but the gap is a bit closer on here right now, so we can follow on and see what's happening. And let's go back down to these guys down in the midfield here. Still a bit of a train of cars coming on through it. Prasek, Sagan, NT, Daniel Clement, and Cam as well. Also chasing after each other. I think they're fighting for the position that Prasek currently has there is P4. Because it does seem like Devils is a bit further ahead. I'm trying to figure out how further ahead he is, and by a few seconds at least. And that is the thing, the entire grid getting mixed up once again here. And leaderboard seems to be on a whole different freak out today for some reason. I'm not even sure what's happening with it. Let's just take that off for a second, because I'm getting a bit annoyed with that. Just to be honest with you, to see what's happening there. So we're gonna keep on following on with our cars down in the midfield here, see what's gonna happen as they get on through with the rest of the race. Because the gaps on the leaderboard are getting a bit stuck for some reason. Let's have a look, see if they're working out now or not. It says Prasek is a lap down, and we know he's not. Alright, so we have some DRS advantage available for the cars running just behind each other here as well. Prasek trying to get away from this. He's about 8/10 ahead of Sagan, so still Sagan in the DRS range as we saw him using that advantage there. And we got the racing point of NT trying to get around Sagan as well, but apparently did not get a good go on that. We got Daniel Clement coming under a bit of pressure right now from Cam just behind of him. Let's have a look on how that is going right now. And Daniel Clement trying to take it around the outside of Sagan here. And is he going to push on through for that? Is trying to with the Alfa Romeo of I think Cam coming just behind of him, trying to get side by side right now. So Daniel Clement is up into P5. Sagan and Cam are now fighting out, and the leaderboard is still getting mixed up for some reason. I'm not sure what is happening. Just gonna have to ignore that for the time being. I'm just working on the map right now, just having a look at how close cars are. Tell what exactly is happening on track here. Kubao's getting very close off with Escas as well, in the McLaren out in front of him, as well as with the AlphaTauri of Sagan there. So they're all getting within that battle of each other, trying to find it out too for the positions. Out in front, Ready Muse and Cuban having a bit of a gap between each other, 1.3 second. Michael another 1.5 second down. I know Prasek is a few seconds behind. I'm not sure why it's showing a lap behind. But either way, that is just stuck there for now. And Jerry having a pretty good run with Kubaus here, trying to fight it off for that position. Let's see what's happening with that. Where is the Red Bull right now? I'm trying to figure that out. He's just running just behind Jerry here. Got some yellow flags on track there as well. That interval gap is absolutely completely useless at this point in the game here right now. Alright, so following on with Jerry, still a pretty close gap between him and Escas out in front. So we're keeping an eye and see how that's going. How he gets a little bit wide, loses a bit of time on that, about a few tenths. Gonna have to be a bit careful as well. We do have 4 drivers right now with penalties in the race. Jerry trying to push it on the inside of the McLaren of Escas and does get it ahead. Now he's running behind Daniel Clement there. He's currently in 8th on the grid right now. An excellent overtake into that portion of the track as well. We do have some pit stops happening out front here. As I can see, someone just went to the pits, I think. And that was Daniel Clement going into the pit lane there. He's taking his pit stop already. On those soft tires, it's starting to get a bit worn. Of course, those on the mediums are pushing for the one-stop strategy. So we're going to see how that's going to work for them. Looks like Daniel Clement might be pushing on for an interesting strategy here as well, because he just gone onto the hard tire. So what is his strategy play right now? Is he somehow going to be trying for a aggressive one-stop? I'm not sure, because it's lap 8 of the race right now, and he's out on hard tires. We still got quite a way more to go in this race. At least another 20-something laps to go here. So is he going to push all of those laps onto those hard tires there? It is quite possible at this point, but the tires are going to be a bit severely worn down to the end of the session. But he might be counting on either some rain or a safety car to do another pit stop. So let's see how that strategy is going to work for him. Currently we have him chasing after Leon Morrison out in front of him. About a 2-second gap. Leon about a 5 tenths behind Fabian right now on running. Now we're going to go back out front and follow on with Cuban and Ready Muse. In the lead of the race here right now is Ready Muse. He's about 3 tenths ahead of Cuban, with Michael about 2 seconds behind of these guys fighting it on through for that. So battle on out in front right now for the race lead as it is. And both of them running on the exact same strategy. It's going to be very interesting to see how this is going to work out for them. We're currently into lap 9 of 35. We still got about 26.5 laps to go in this race. And that's how many laps Sagan and Clement will have to pull on those hard tires which are currently on there. Another 26 laps or so. So going to be very interesting to see how that's going to work out. We have quite a few drivers getting into the pits there right now as well. I'm not even sure why it's getting so mixed up, but yeah. So a few more drivers seem to be getting onto the hard tires. Whoever were on the softs are trying to do those pit stops right now, getting onto the hard tires and getting back out on track. And looks like definitely they're trying to push for a one stop as well, even on the faster tires which started the race on the soft tires, which do just a few laps less than what these mediums can do. So those on the mediums will be able to pit a little bit later on in the race. And we do have a few cars who did start the race there on the hard tires itself, so they will be able to push a much longer stint into the race before doing their pit stop. So we're going to see how that strategy will work for them. But so far running pretty well here. We got Cuban 3 tenths right now as he goes down the pit lane straight, and Has about a 2 or 3 tenths gap behind Ready Muse. A pretty close gap. Has his DRS advantage on the second DRS zone. Is trying to push it on the inside through the next turn, but not able to get it through as yet. We got yellow flags all around the track for some reason right now. So still a pretty close gap between our top two as they continue to race on through for that. I'm going to keep on with them for just a bit and have a look at what's happening. We got Daniel Clement and Leon Morrison going side by side. That's Daniel Clement up into P9 on the grid here right now. Puts Leon down into 10th. So he's got up another position and running on those fresh hard tires now. So getting a bit of an advantage as they're still fresh. So they're still going to have some extensive grip on them as they get on through so far for now. Down behind, I think we got someone's having a pretty close gap, and I think that was Prasek. What on earth is happening on the grid? I'm not even sure. My apologies for the crappy ass leaderboard that big ass company like Codemasters has so far. Now they sold the company over, and still absolutely no one is able to fix one simple issue that's been going on since the start of last year when this game was released. Leaderboard gets mixed up. One of the most important features of the game that we do use here on the online mode, and still they're not able to fix that. Nobody cares about the career mode, but they're fixing on that. I don't even know why they're even trying to fix those crap. The stuff that should be fixed are not getting fixed on the game. Absolutely annoying, so I'm not sure when they will ever plan on doing that. So Sagan in 10th right now. We do have Prasek and Eskas here, I think, fighting it out for 11th on the grid. Let's have a look if that's what's happening there right now as they get on through with that. So Leon Morrison down to 12 right now, chasing after those two in front of him. Sagan and Prasek fighting it out for P10. A pretty close gap between the two of them as they get on through. Out in front, we still got Cuban and Ready Mills right now with a 6-10 gap between the two of them as they still continue to chase on each other around the track. And the rest of the grid down there in the midfield having a bit of a gap starting to form between them by a few seconds there right now. We still have some close gaps on track, and we're still following on right now. See what's happening with Sagan and Prasek here right now. And why does the leaderboard get this is like the worst mix-up on the leaderboard I've ever seen so far in doing these streams, and I have done so much of them. And that is Prasek trying to take it on the inside there right now. Let's see if he's going to get it done, and not able to get it done as yet. Still is continuing on, Joe, and trying to push it on through the inside. Has to just keep it as close as he can to that AlphaTauri, and now gets it through on just second to, going around the final turn right now. Gets it up into P10. Sagan is now down into 11, but might have the DRS advantage. Let's have a look here. Virtual safety car right now puts a pause and any battle on track. And what's caused that virtual safety car? We're still trying to figure that out here right now. So we're getting it wrong because we still have full 20 drivers on the grid and running. Probably just a bit of an incident somewhere on track with one of the drivers. I'm not sure what's happened as yet, but something's definitely happened on track somewhere. I'm not seeing anyone completely slowing down or stationary on the track at the moment. We do have a car in the pits there. That's Paulie in the pits. I'm not sure if there was some sort of incident that caused that to happen. We have Fabian there with a drive-through penalty, unfortunately, for speeding under the virtual safety car, and that's not going to go over too well for him. Let's get on out in front of the grid and once again and follow on with Ready Muse. And we're back. Are we back racing? No, we're not back racing as yet. Still waiting for that to happen. So we're in lap 13 of 35 right now. We got Cuban still leading this race. Ready Muse running in second right now and trying to catch up to him. A 4/10 gap between the two of them, and these two are still going to fight it on through all the way to the end of the race, I assume, here right now, with both of them running on the same strategy. We do have a bit more sunshine out on track here right now, so definitely no rain off in the session. So I think they're going to be focused on a bit on the safety cars, probably to try and get to save some time on their pit stops if they can. We're going to see how this strategy is going to work out for these guys out in front, because between Cuban and Ready Muse, I think the two of them are going to be watching on each other to see who's going to be doing the pit stop first, and I'm not sure what's going to happen after that. They're going to try and get an advantage at some point against each other to see how that's going to work out. And that's Kubau's with another 3-second penalty as it is there right now. And these two might just be chasing each other around the track for quite a bit. Track is fully green here at the moment as we continue on with this race. Lap 14 of 35 right now is which we're currently in. And Ready Muse gets a pretty good run down that pit straight, but still not able to get close enough to Cuban to try for an overtake at this point here right now. So he does have to just continue that battle as it is. Going down here in 8th position right now. We're on with Groot chasing after Kubaus there in 7th for that position, and he's trying and using as DRS advantage and a bit of overtake as well. And why does it keep going full yellow flags along the track on a certain portion? I think we're having a glitch on the game here, or a glitch on the lobby itself here this evening, so I do have to apologize about that. So I think that's going to happen when certain cars get around to that portion of the track. On every single lap we might see a full yellow flag situation on track at that point all the way around. So that's going to be a bit of an issue to deal with the rest of the race going on through here right now. We're just not even we're not at the halfway point of the race as yet, and a severe glitch. It does seem to just be a glitchy lobby, and there we go. Yellow flags all around the track once again, and I think that's a glitch caused by someone's car. I'm not even sure whose car is causing that glitch, but someone's causing that glitch for some reason. But I really wouldn't blame it on a driver at this point here right now. I'll just blame it on the game still, because they should have been able to fix certain issues like this, and I'm not sure why. But we're apparently going to be having a full yellow flag situation on every single lap around the track at that exact point. Thankfully, it's not the same as I've seen a virtual safety car glitch happen on every lap on a race so far, because there was one virtual safety car, and just after that there just seemed to be a VSC every time cars approach a certain portion of the track, and that seems to be what exact situation that's happening here right now. We're having full yellow flags all around the track as that's happening. We do have Cuban took a pit stop out front. He's now out on track back in 5th position. Let's have a look here right now, see what's happening with that. So Ready Muse out front is currently continuing to lead the race now. And we got Michael now running 2nd. NTR now runs 3rd. Cam runs 4th. Cuban now runs 5th. We got Jerry into 6th right now. We're following obviously who has a closer gap to work with. And so far that seems to be Kubaus and Groot here running 7th and 8th on the grid right now. Daniel Clement a bit away behind them, I think. Trying to catch up with that right now. Yep, that is going to be a yellow flag situation on track. Is a bit of a glitch happening. Unfortunate for us, but we're gonna have to just deal with it. And we do have a few pit stops happening out front on the grid right now, which is going to change up the grid order just a bit. We're going to see how that's going to work out as we're following on still with Kubaus and Groot chasing after for 7th place now in the race as it is. Devils Michael in front of them. So what exactly is going to happen here right now with this unfortunate glitch? If it does go to a yellow flag every single lap and someone does an overtake under that yellow flag, are they going to be getting a penalty? And will that penalty be removed at the end of the race? I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen in that situation, but I would assume drivers will report it to get the penalty removed if they do get a penalty for overtaking under that yellow flag, which is not a valid one here at this point. We're on lap 16 right now of 35 in this race, getting on through. Leaderboard still getting crazy as it is there right now. I'm not even sure why it is at that point. One of the most annoying glitch I've seen on the game so far is this one here happening. Leaderboard glitch still happening, and a yellow flag glitch still going on all around the track. Seems like they're just making the game worse every time they try to fix something, and they're not even trying to fix the issues that we do want them to fix, which is what is the annoying part of it. And we do have the Red Bull getting into the pits there right now. That's Kubaus getting into the pits. Groot is going to be moving up a position quite easily here right now. Into 6th place he goes on the grid. Actually up to 4th goes Groot here right now because some more pit stops happening out in front of him. Cuban now leading the race once again, with Ready Muse doing his pit stop and back into 2nd place on the grid. 3 tenths behind. Now 2 tenths behind Cuban, as we can see here. Okay, so we're on lap 17 of 25 right now, just approaching that halfway point of the race here at the moment, and strange. Yeah, so let's see what's going to happen with the rest of the race as we get on through. But so far, still following on with the battle out in front between Cuban and Ready Muse. Ready Muse taking around the outside of the house of Cuban right now, trying to pull it back on the inside, but still has to hold it down there in second place on the grid, as he is right now. But it's going to be quite an interesting battle between the two of them as they get on through to the rest of the race, because I think they're just going to be chasing each other around the track all the way until lap 35, as it seems they're on such an incredible pace and so very close off to each other that it's just very hard for Ready Muse to try and even get an overtake done. Not even was able to get it done under a pit stop, so let's keep an eye and see how the rest of the race is going to go on through. But yeah, a bit of a mix-up still with the leaderboard, so really can't trust what's happening with that at this point there right now. Just going on in sync with what we can see happening on track, which is a bit of a gap between most of our drivers, as we can see there right now. Of course, with with Cuban and Ready Muse out front, it's a pretty close gap. Michael there in third at 5.7 seconds behind. He's trying to catch up to these guys out front, I assume. He's running on the same hard tire strategy as them as well, to go to the end of the race here right now, and he's not having that DRS advantage because of not being in the DRS range of Ready Muse, and Ready Muse once again trying to push it around the outside of the house. Oh, and almost loses the rear of the car getting around turn 1. He gets back going again, but loses about 4 tenths right now. He's now 9 tenths behind and almost out of the DRS range. He needs to get himself back into that range, make sure he stays there if he does want that advantage on every lap, trying to catch up to Cuban as much as he can, and possibly trying to get that overtake done. We do have some more close gaps starting to form down in the midfield of the grid. Kubaus and Jerry here, a pretty close gap between the two of them as they get on through. Sagan just in front of that as well. So let's keep an eye on this tree and see how they're getting on through with their current lap here. Kuba's definitely trying to improve his gap when Sagan there, but Jerry getting pretty close up behind, about 2 or 3 tenths behind. We got Groot out in front currently into the pits, has done 19 laps on those hard tires as it is there, and he's now into the pits. So we're going to have a look at penalties as it is just a bit. We do have Cuban with a penalty out front as well, as we can see. We're still following on with these 3 guys here, Sagan, Kubaus and Jerry, still fighting it off here for P8. We got the Red Bull of Kubaus and Sagan going side by side through turn 1, and the Williams of Jerry looking on just behind that, as we can see there right now. He's still coming up behind, and the Red Bull down into 9th, still trying to play a pass as it is and not able to get past as yet. We got a virtual safety car right now. Hopefully that fixes the glitch. I'm not sure. That's going to put a pause on the battle between these 3 cars here at the moment, and still I'm not able to figure out what's caused that virtual safety car, as nothing has definitely happened significant to a driver on track. We do have cars in the pit, so I'm not 100% sure what's happened to cause that VSC, and it's not even showing us some sort of information on that. So that race is going to be slowed down, just at least for now, and we're going to have to wait for that to get back going again. Oh, and no, there is it. Fabian is out of the race. He's retired off of the session. Where is his car on track? I'm not even sure at this point. Oh, I think I see where it is, as we're getting around to it in just a bit here right now. So we're going to keep on with Sagan on board and see if we can have a look at Fabian's car. Should be coming up on the right side of the track, and there it is there right now. So a bit of incident with Fabian has caused him to go on up to the race, and that's a virtual safety car for that incident there, as we can see. And are we back racing again? Is that yellow flag situation is glitching still going on with the game? Probably. I'm not sure if we're back racing as yet. That's I really can't tell. I'm not sure if drivers are confused by it or not. And we're back racing. We're green on the track once again, and I can actually tell we're back racing. So going back out front, Ready Muse and Cuban still at it here out front. Paulie disqualified for going the wrong way on track. and he is unfortunately out of the race. What's happened to Baldy? I'm not even sure if that was even his fault at the point. So he's disqualified from the race. Fabian is out of the race. 2 drivers out. We got 18 drivers remaining in the Hungarian Grand Prix right now. Cuban leading this race. Redim is running in second. NT running now in third. Cam running fourth. Prasek now in fifth. Daniel Clement in sixth. Sagan there running in 7th right now, and 15 seconds behind is where Jerry is at the moment, as it seems. And let's see who's behind that. Esker's running 9th, Michael running 10th now after his pit stop now on the medium tires to go to the end of the race with. We got about 14 laps left to go. Kubaus here chasing after Groot, about a second behind. I'm gonna go back out front at the moment. And follow on with Ready Muse now. Alright, so it does seem like we still have that yellow flag glitch still happening on track, unfortunately, but we're going to follow on right now. Still we have a close gap between Cuban and Ready Muse, and currently going into lap 23 right now of 35. So still a little bit of way more to go down to the end of the race, and we're going to follow on, see how this is going to play on through, going all the way to the end. I'm trying to have a look. We do have a closer gap right now on track. Alright, so let's stick on board just a little bit here with Ready Muse and see how close he's able to get to Cuban right now. Now, how difficult it actually is for him to try and get ahead. And Ready Muse now gets a 3-second penalty as well. I think Cuban only has a 3-second. We're going to have a look at the penalties in just a bit. Actually, let's just bring it on board to see what's happening with penalties in terms of these two. And it's both a 3-second penalty for both of them right now, with 2 tenths between these two cars as they're fighting it off through for the lead of the race here right now. So Cuban with a 3-second penalty, Ready Muse with a 3-second penalty as it is. And it's going to be equal for them going off to the end. So it's going to be all about who gets across the line first to get the race win at this point. Let's see if Cuban is going to be put under any more pressure here and possibly get another penalty. That's going to be Ready Muse's chance of getting the race win here. He was in a pretty good position of still getting the win for the Hungarian Grand Prix by getting P1 just because Cuban had a penalty and he didn't, but now he's lost that advantage, and now 19 seconds to the car behind of them. They have all of that time to work with. So I'm not even sure if that's actually, I'm not sure if that gap is correct. 19.1 seconds. It does seem like it's correct now because it's moving actually. I know it does get stuck sometimes. But let's see how that's going to work out going down further to the end of the race session here. But so far, quite an interesting race. A bit annoying with the leaderboard having a lot of issues here, and with that yellow flag glitch that's happening. Sectors 1, 2, and 3, yellow flag. That is so annoying right about now. It keeps happening on every single lap, so we know it's a glitch happening. We just have to ignore that for the next 11 and a half laps that we have remaining in this race here, going through with that. And this gap has actually been constant between these two cars for like the entire race, I would say, except for when they did their pit stops. So it's always been between, actually under 5 tenths between Cuban and Ready Muse for the entire race. So just goes to show how competitive these two guys are in terms of fighting it out for a position. Let's see. And we do have DR's advantage and his overtake being used by Ready Muse, and no overtake on Cuban's car as they're fighting it on through for the lead right now once again. And looks like it might be a bit more closer of a battle going down to the end of the race, the final 10 and a half laps that we have remaining here right now. And that yellow flag glitch seems to be happening a little bit more than often than we would like to see at the moment either. Now Daniel Clement here seems to be under a bit of pressure here right now from Jerry, who's chasing after him in the Williams. 3 tenths behind the gap is, and he's definitely trying to get by. Let's have a look on how that battle is going on with the two of them. Out in front is going to be a bit constant right now, so we're going to just put a pause on that for the moment. We do have Michael here getting past someone. He's getting past. I'm not sure what's happening. Why does it switch that much? I'm not even sure. Gap is just stuck right now, so not even sure what's happening. That's because it's 10th. Devils Michael is 9th so far on the grid. And this leaderboard is just mixing a lot of things up here right now. Back on following on with Jerry and Daniel Clement here, fighting it off for a 6th position in the race. We're on lap 26 going right now. And we do have Daniel Clement and Jerry going a bit side by side as I'm watching on right now. And that is Jerry still holding on to P6. Clement definitely fighting him on in the final stages of this race to try and get that position up if he can. Will mean some more points there for Mercedes because he is the only running Mercedes in the race right now. Jerry's teammate is down there in 14 currently on the grid and running. So between the two of them, definitely fighting to make points here for the team. Out in front, we still got about a half a second gap between Cuban and Ready Mills for the lead. I'm gonna go on board a bit with Clement here right now. Let's see if he's able to get any closer to Jerry on the pit straight. We do have Sagan coming up on them about 1.4 seconds. He's catching up on a little bit as they go through with the rest of the race. Into lap 27, these guys go here right now, so let's see how this goes on through. 4 tenths is the gap between Cuban and Ready Mills out front. Still continuing on that way, and I think it's going to go to the end of the race at that point there. Anyway, with the way it is there right now. Gap is starting to go a bit away from Daniel Clement here right now. He's losing a bit of time. I'm not sure if he has any damage. Doesn't seem like he has damage in the car, but I'm not sure what's happening. But his tires are 18 laps old in this race so far, and he does have to push those tires all the way to the end of the race. Sagan behind of him, 19 laps on his hard tires. Prasek has done 17 laps on his tires so far. And what's happened out front between Ready Muse and Cuban right now? They're going a bit side by side, switching off positions. Who's going to hold off with the lead right now? It's Cuban back again in the lead. Ready Muse back down to second. I think for just about a split second, Ready Muse did have the lead away from him, but somehow Cuban has gotten it back, and it's a pretty close gap between them, just about a tenth or two, and they're going to be fighting it a little bit more as Ready Muse is trying to get a better line to keep up with Cuban as much as he can, and trying to use a bit of an advantage in terms of getting the DRS as well. Let's see what that's going. Oh, and Cuban goes a bit wide, loses the position once again to Ready Muse, and they're still fighting it side by side and going on through. So this might actually end up ending pretty badly between them if it does have some severe contact happening between those two cars. Let's see how that's going to go, if they're going to take each other out or not. But they're definitely fighting it out pretty hard for that position. And penalties, I think they both still have a 3-second penalty as it is, but we'll have a look at the penalties in just a bit as they're still going side by side through sector 3 of the track. And there goes Cuban, goes a bit wide. Let's bring penalties on board. Are they having more penalties? Nope, their penalties are still the same. Luki gets another penalty there right now though. Now Ready Muse in the lead, going down the pit straight. We're on board with Cuban here right now. Let's see, he has the DRS advantage, and he's going to get a little bit closer to Ready Muse, but not close enough to get the overtake done. and braking just in time to get a wrong turn. 1 second DRS zone here right now. Let's see if that's going to be any sort of an advantage for him, and still has to hold it off into second in the race now. Not going to be too happy about Ready Muse taking away the lead from him at this point in the race with 6.5 laps left to go. And he's going to have to try and fight it back as much as he can. Let's see what that's going to go. I'm down in the midfield of the grid. We got Michael and Sagan. 3/10 gap between them. 20 laps Sagan has done on those hard tires. But Michael here on only 6 laps with his medium tires. And Cuban gets another penalty out from feeling the pressure of trying to chase after Ready Muse for the lead again. And we got Devils and Sagan switching positions here right now, possibly switching positions as the Red Bull of Michael goes all the way around on the outside and tries to get up into 8th position. And he does get the position up. He's now at 4/10 ahead of Sagan on that one there, and he's going to try to hold up that position and chase after Daniel Clement out in front of him. Now on the front, Cuban definitely feeling the pressure because now 1.9 seconds, now 2 seconds behind Ready Muse. I'm not sure if he's taking damage on some sort of incident or not. Let's have a look what's happening out front with him. But definitely having some trouble with that car there right now. 13 laps on those tires. Same goes for Ready Muse as well. We're into lap 30 of the race. There's about 5.5 laps left to go. And this has gotten quite interesting. So Mike Cuban has lost the lead of the race to Ready Muse, who's now leading. Both of them with a 3-second penalty, 2-second gap between them. And Cuban's going to have to just hope that Ready Muse gets another penalty and he can stay within 3 seconds to get a race win at this point here right now. That doesn't seem like he's going to be getting it back anytime soon. Jurek about 7/10 behind Kubas there for 12th position on the grid. A bit of a gap forming between most of our drivers, as we can see there right now. Trying to follow on with what's happening here. Let's go down to Jurek here in 13th on the grid and keep an eye and see how that battle is going on through with them. They do have a bit of traffic coming behind them as well. Jurek getting a penalty there once again, feeling a bit of pressure, trying to catch up to Kubas there for a 12th position on the grid, and having some trouble doing that here right now. Out in front on gap is now up to 2.6 seconds with Ready Muse ahead of Cuban. So it looks like Ready Muse is easily going to be taking this win away from him. Entier in 3rd, Cam in 4th, Prasek running 5th. Let's go on to, I think Daniel Clement just got overtaken by Michael here for 7th place. So that's the Red Bull of Michael up into 7th right now. Those hard tires on Daniel Clement's car, 22 laps done with them. Sagan's car, 23 laps. Eska's 21 laps on the hards. They're definitely starting to feel the wear off of those tires there right now as we're getting to the closing point of this race. We're currently into lap 31 here right now with them and going on through. And I think race leaders might be entering pretty soon off into the into lap 32, as they just did actually. Alright, so 2.7 seconds right now. Gap is between Ready Muse and Cuban out for the lead out in front, and 17 seconds for Entier down there in 3rd, so he has a bit of a gap to work with. Doesn't have any penalties though, so not too bad a point on him for that. We're gonna bring penalties online just so you guys can have a look at what's happening with that. Let's go on back down to Kubas here, still chasing after Jurek, trying to get that position back, but doesn't look like he's gonna be able to get it back anytime soon. With the way the gap is, and does look he's getting overtaken by Leon Marson there, who goes up. Well, was that probably a lap car, I think? No, I think he was just getting lapped there. My bad on that. Let's go back out front just a bit, see what's happening here. So Cuban out front, still running 2nd place, has lost the lead to Ready Muse and is losing time as well. He's now 3.1 seconds down on that. It looks like he's given up on the fight. He's still going to get second place on the podium when we do get around to that point. And I think we're getting into 33 right now. So 3 more laps left to go in this race officially here before we close the Hungarian Grand Prix for round 13 of 22 so far for EFRL. But quite an interesting race as well, as we can see going on. Some of these guys putting some extensive amount of laps on these hard tires. So far we do have Prix doing 22 laps on the hards. We got Daniel Clement doing 23 laps on his, Sagan doing 24 laps on his, and Eskas doing 22 laps on his hard tire so far. Demon there and Gigi down in the back of the grid, 17th and 18th, have done 18 laps each on their hard tires as it is there right now. Not too bad at all though, but Grady Muse and Cuban doing 16-17 laps respectively on their tires, and 3-second gap is still between the two of them as it is as we're going around to the end portion of this race. Now our close gaps have gotten away from us just a bit coming down to the end of the race, so not too much happening right now. We're just trying to focus on see what the penalties are going to be like as we get on through with that. So you know what, in the meanwhile we can have a look at some of the results that have been handed over to me by Daniel Clement here. Standing so far, going up to round 12 last week for EFRL, we do have for the Constructors Championship so far, we do have, let's see what we have here. We got Red Bull is currently leading the championship with 234 points. We got Williams currently second on the Constructors Championship with 205 points. There's a 29-point difference there. And then we got Haas in third, 204 points. Alfa Romeo in fourth, 154 points. We got Mercedes currently in fifth there, 121 points. We got Racing Point in sixth, 95 points. Renault in seventh, 91 points. Then we got AlphaTauri there in 8th currently with 64 points. We got Ferrari in 9th with 37 points. And McLaren currently only with 3 points down there in 10th and last on the Constructors Championship so far as it is. So not looking too well for McLaren in terms of that part of it. We do have currently have Eskas there in 10th, trying to get some points in there for the team. Fabian currently out of the race, so no points for him going over to the McLaren team for the Constructors as it is there right now. Currently on lap 34, gap is decreased by about a few tenths, and still just about 3 seconds between Ready Muse and Cuban for the lead here right now, and I think it might just continue on that way as it is. Let's bring and there we go into the final lap of the race there right now. So let's bring penalties on board so you guys can have a look at that as we get on through with a final lap here right now. We're going to switch over and follow on Ready Muse for that as he gets through sector 1 so far and gets around with that as well. And Cuban does get another penalty, so that is 9 seconds of penalties right now for Cuban. Ready Muse has 6 seconds of penalties, so definitely looks like he's a bit frustrated there running in second with 3.6 second gap right now. 9 seconds of penalties. Needs to be a bit careful with that there though. There's a few drivers right now. I think you just have 3 drivers. That's Daniel Clement, Michael, and Entier are the only 3 drivers. Oh, sorry, to Gigi as well. 4 drivers right now without any penalties in this race, and we got Ready Muse coming around the he's about to get around the final turn here right now as he gets around a bit of traffic in the Ferrari there, and he's getting around the final turn back onto the pit straight. He goes right down. He's gonna go across the line and take the win for the Hungarian Grand Prix here, so great job on him for getting that done. Cuban comes across the line and takes second place on the podium here right now, and then we got Entier who should be coming around in just a bit. There's a bit of a spacing gap between most of our drivers as we can see, so we're waiting for that to be finished off. So Entier is going to come across the line here and take 3rd place on the podium for the Hungarian GP here right now. Not a bad finish for him as well. We're going to see who gets driver of the day on that. We got Cam goes across the line, takes P4. Prasek will take P5. Jerry goes across the line to take P6. But Michael there, 1 second behind. No penalty. Definitely looks like there's going to be a switch between Jerry and Michael. Let's have a look at that here right now. As Jerry goes across the line and Devils takes away P6 from him. That's Jerry down to 7. Daniel Clement coming around now. He's going to go across the line to take P8 on the grid there. And Sagan will be able to take 9th. Eskas will be able to take 10th as they get around. He does have Groot. I don't know. That's another car coming behind of him. So Eskas will come across the line, take 10th. And let's have a look at the entire finishing positions in just a bit. Groot will take 11, Direct 12, Kubas 13, Leon, Morrison 14, Gargamel 15, Luki 16, Demon 17, to GG there were taking 18th on the grid. And 2 drivers were out of the race, unfortunately for that. We're going to have one final look at the result before we do close off the session. And driver of the day goes to Jerry. That's a great job from him on getting that done. Not too bad of a finish for him as well. Let's have a look at the final results before we close off this session here today for EFRL. Alright, so there we have it. Renault, Haas, and Racing Point on the podium for that. Not too bad a race finish. Bit of a disappointing finish, I would assume, for Cuban in the Haas there, but still some points there for the team. So Ready Mills takes the win for the Hungarian Grand Prix here, and then we have Cuban taking second place on the podium. Enter takes third on the podium there. Not too bad a finish for them. Cam takes fourth on the grid. Prasek takes fifth in this race. Michael will take sixth. Jerry takes seventh. Daniel Clement takes eighth. Sagan takes ninth. Escas takes 10th. Groot takes 11th. Direct takes 12th. Kubaus 13th. We have Leon Morrison takes 14. Gargamel 15. Luki there 16. Demon 17 to GG 18. Paulie there 19 did not get to finish the race. Fabian there 20th did not get to finish the race as well. Looks like Gargamel had the fastest lap, but was in 15, so I'm not sure how that works out, but we'll see how that's going to go. But yeah, guys, so quite an interesting race there for EFRL. And good job to the guys finishing on the podium. Ready Muse, Cuban, and NT. They're quite a good race between Ready Muse and Cuban, going most of the races, most of the point of the race, and then coming down to the end, Cuban did lose the lead on that one. Unfortunate for him, but not a bad finish at all. So congratulations to the guys on that, and for most of the guys for finishing off the race, and for the drivers that did not get penalty, that was quite a good race for them as well. So thank you guys for joining us on here on the EFRL channel for round 13 for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Will join us again next week right here for round 14. So I'll see you guys then. Thanks for joining us on.